So today's topic is some natural phenomena. So what do you mean by the phenomena? The term phenomena. There are various phenomena and there are various process occurs naturally, and these are the natural phenomena that causes the destruction of the property and the human life. Okay, so in this chapter, we will discuss some destructive natural phenomena. You might have heard, and in the newspaper, you might have seen about the natural phenomena, that lighting, the flood, the earthquake, and the landsliding. These are all the natural phenomena that is caused by nature. Okay, that is totally caused by the nature, and it causes the destruction of life and also the destruction of the properties, the buildings and the trees and everything. The first phenomena we will discuss, that is the light. So have you ever lightning? Have you ever seen the lightning after the rainy, when it is a heavy rain, and after the rain, it is a lightning takes place. That is sparks in the cloud and in the sky. And have you ever seen some spark when electric poles and when the electric wires come close to each other? There's some sparks will be there, and that spark is harmful. Okay, so just in the same way, some electric spark is there in the sky after the rain, and that can be after the rain or it can be before the rain, so it will consider as a lightning. So this phenomena is quite common when wind is blowing. Okay, so when wind is very heavily flow of the wind, and shaking the wires. Obviously, when wind is blowing, every substance is shake, especially the wires. Okay, and at your home also, when you have ever observed the sparks when some wire has loosely put in the socket, some spark will be there. Okay, from the electric appliances. So the same kind of spark is there in the sky, that will consider as a lightning. So lightning is also an electric spark. It is a electric spark, but not on a huge scale. It is a small electric spark that will be not permanent. It is a very for short duration, and it is a very temporary. Okay, so in an ancient time, what is happening? The people do not understand the cause of sparks. So whenever the lightning is there, the people thought that it was the myth that whenever the lightning is there in the sky, so every people thought that it must be some, like God is angry, or somebody is angry, and that is the anger. The God is showing anger with such type of lightning. But it was not true. At that time, awareness is not there. That is why these type of myth is there. Okay, so the yeah, that lighting can be harmful sometimes, but not every time. When it is a very small scale, it is not harmful for anyone, but sometimes it can become harmful. So the spark that the Greek news about. So how that lightning causes charging by rubbing. When okay, so when two charged substances are got struck together or got rubbed together, it will generate some heat. Okay, so these are the charged body. So charging by rubbing means when a plastic refill is rubbed with the polythene. Okay, if you have any plastic refill, just rub that refill with the polythene, It acquires a small electric charge. You will observe a small electric charge. Okay. Similarly, when plastic comb is rubbed with dry hair, this activity you might have done, that whenever you rub the plastic comb with your dry hair, it acquires a small charge. Your hair going to stick with that comb. These objects are called a charge body. Charge body means in charge body there might be some charge is there, like it can be positive charge or it can be negative charge. Okay. Types of charges and their interaction. What are the different types of charges and how they interact? So when you rub the two balloons, a charged balloon repelled a charged balloon. Okay. When you rub a balloon, what happened? It will going to repel each other. A charge repel a charge repel. Okay. And when you rub two plastic ripples, it will going to repel each other. But a charged balloon attracted a charged ripple. Okay. But when you rubbed a balloon and a charged refill, it will attract each other. So why is it so? Because the same charge the same charge repel each other, and the opposite charge attract each other. Okay. So I will tell. So when a charges can be of two types, that is a positive and the negative charge. Okay. Positive charge positive and the negative charge, and the same charge repel each other, and different charge, yeah, unlike charge, attract each other. Okay. So when there is a plus, it will going to repel each other. Means pull it will push, both will push each other. And when there's a sorry, negative and negative, these are the same changes, so they will repel. And if there's unlike charges, they will attract each other. Okay. So when there's a plastic refill, charged refill, charge refill is there plus charge balloon. So both have different charge. Like refill has opted plus, balloon opted negative. So there will be attraction. Okay. It is conventional to call the charge acquired by the glass rod when it is rubbed with the silk as a positive. Now the transfer of the charge takes place. So if any charge body is there, okay, and if you transfer the charge from that body to the earth, okay, if you transfer the charge of that body to the earth, then it will called as earthing. So how earthing takes place? Earthing. Earthing means transfer charge from charged body to earth. Okay. So there is a lightning and thunderstorm. Okay, the thunderstorm, the sound of thunderstorm, you can hear the sound of thunderstorm and you can see the spark, the lightning in the sky. Okay, when the air currents moves upward, okay, when air will move upward and the water droplets present in the sky moves downward. Okay, so what will happen? There will be the vigorous movement cause. The vigorous movement, there will be the vigorous movement. The air current is going up and water droplet is going down. So there's a vigorous movement that cause the separation of charge. There will be the separation of charge. So by a process, okay, the positive charge collect near the upper edge of the cloud, okay, and the negative charge will collect near the lower edge. Okay. These accumulation of positive charge near the ground also. When the magnitude of the accumulated charge becomes very large, the air, which is normally a poor conductor of electricity, is no longer able to resist the flow. And what will happen? Negative and positive charge meet. So when negative and positive charge meet, they will attract each other and producing the streaks of bright light. And what will happen when the negative and positive charge meet? They will attract each other because the unlike charges attract each other, and it will produce a streaks of bright light. And you will observe a bright light, the spark, and the sound. So that spark will known as lightning and the sound will called as thunderstorm. And this is a process called electric discharge. Okay. So you can see in the picture when what happened, air goes to upward and the water droplets go downward. Okay. So when these are happening, the air, so there will be the accumulation of positive charge near the ground and the accumulation of the charges on the upper edge, the upper part of this cloud, it will acquire the positive charge and the lower part of the cloud will acquire the negative charge. And after that, these positive and negative charge, and also the positive some positive charge will accumulate in the lower part, that is at the ground level also. So what will happen, the positive and negative charge will attract each other, they will meet each other and attract each other. So what will happen, there will be a streak of light will be there, that is called the lightning, and along with the sound, that sound is called the thunderstorm. And this process is called the electric discharge. Okay, so with the help of electric discharge, lightning takes place. So how you can save yourself from the lightning? Hearing the thunder when always during lightning and thunderstorm, you can save yourself. Although these are not very harmful, but sometimes it can harm. Okay, when it will be in very large scale, it can harm people. So how can you save yourself? So when you hear the sound, thunderstorm sound, just be alert. Okay, just be alert. It is an indication that lightning might be occur. So after hearing the last thunder, wait for some time before coming out of the safe place. So after just you heard the thunder sound, just go inside the house, go inside the safer place so that it can not harm. Okay, and after some time, just don't walk out there very quickly. Just wait for some times. When thunderstorm is over, when lightning is over, then safely come out. Okay, see, so these are the these are the ways so that you can protect yourself. So how can you find the safe place? You can go under the house or under the building. Okay, Now the earthquakes. What are the earthquake? Earthquake is how earthquake has caused. Have you ever felt the earthquake? The shaking of land and everything is shake. Okay. And every time the before earthquake, the weather department, the weather report on the news, they alert ourselves that there can be earthquake come. Okay. Sometimes it is earthquake is so random that weather department cannot alert us in advance, but in most of the cases they alert us. So just like if thunderstorm occurs, always there's a possibility of lightning. If thunderstorm, you have heard the thunderstorm, that then lightning will be definitely be there. Okay. And cyclones accompanying it. And when there's a heavy lightning and heavy thunderstorm, so there can be cyclones also. Cyclone is a very heavy wind. Okay. So these are the natural phenomena. Okay. Now we are discussing about the earthquake. So earthquake is also a natural phenomena that causes the destruction of the mankind and also the destruction of the buildings and the public properties. It can damage the human life and the property in the large scale. If the scale of the earthquake is very high, so it can harm the whole city or the whole area where it is. The major earthquake occurred in India on 8th of October in 2005. In 2005, 8th of October, in Uri and Tangdar was the town in North Kashmir in the Himalayan region. There was a major earthquake was there, and a large damage was happened that time. So, and then before 2005 to in 2001, the Bhuj district of Gujarat earthquake has hit it. The Bhuj district of Gujarat. It was also very. Uh, it causes the very harm. So, what is the actually? What is the earthquake? An earthquake is a sudden shaking or a trembling of the earth, which lasts for short time. Okay, so earth is there, earth sudden shaking, but a random. Okay, it is not fixed, it can be random. Earth starts shaking and there's a trembling of earth. Okay, and it can be for very short time, for about 2 to 3 seconds, or it can be if the time period is more, so it will definitely going to cause a very destruction. But if it is for very short time, so it will not cause much destruction, only a very small scale destruction will be there. So when earth starts shaking, okay, uh, the the earth crust and the layers of the earth start shaking and trembling, and the duration is very short time. It causes the disturbance in deep inside the earth. When earth starts shaking, the inner deep inside the earth will also deep inside the earth crust will also start disturbed. Okay, when upper layer got disturbed, upper layer is shaking, the lower part of the earth crust, the lower part, okay, inside that will also get disturbed. Okay, and that disturb cause earthquake. So earthquake occurs in all time, all over the earth. It can there's a no fixed uh, timing, like it will comes during the winter only, it will comes in during the summer only. Earthquake can come anytime. Okay, or all over the earth. They are not even noticed. You can't. Sometimes the duration is and the scale of earthquake is very small that nobody can notice. Only the weather scientist who is studying and dealing with that, they can only study about it. But The normal people like you and I, we can't even notice that earthquake. Okay, so yeah, why we can't notice? Because the frequency of that earthquake is very small. They can cause immense damage to building, bridges, dams, and people. But if the frequency of earthquake is high, so it will damage the buildings, bridges, dams, and people also. There can be great loss. huh? If the frequency is high, there can be a very great loss. Okay, earthquake can cause, and the consequences of earthquake. The consequences of earthquake is flood, landslides, and tsunami. If earthquake is there, so flood will be also there, because how I will explain. See, suppose this is earth, okay. So earth, and these are the layers of the earth, and in earth, what is happening? There are oceans and seas are also there. So when this upper part starts shaking, so the lower part of the earth also get disturbed. Okay. So when this part get disturbed, when the land get disturbed, also the sea water also get disturbed. So what will happen? There will be high tides. Tides means the tides in the water or the oceans. There will be high tides due to disturbance of the earth. So these high tides can be so large that it can cause flood. Okay. And if the high tide becomes very, very large, it can cause a tsunami also. So when tsunami hit the India, a major tsunami occurred in the Indian Ocean on 26 December 2004. So mainly the coastal areas. Coastal areas means the areas nearby the sea causes the disturbance. They feel the disturbance, and the loss is very high for the people living nearby the coastal areas. So how the earthquake causes, the you can see, this is the earth, this is the upper part of the earth, this is the earth crust, and this part is mantle. The center part is called core, and outer and inner core. So what has happened? The tremors and the shaking of the earth. Okay, the shakiness and the tremors of the earth caused by the disturbance deep down inside the uppermost layer of the earth. Okay, in the earth crust there is a disturbance caused due to shaking. The outermost layer of the earth is not in one piece; it is fragmented, and these fragments are called the plates. So all the plates, what happened when there's a shaking and trembling in the upper portion, so all the deeper portion will also get disturbed, and it will cause the earthquake. So for the this topic, that's it for this topic. Now we'll move to the next topic, that is light. The next topic we have is light. How can you how things are visible to you? Anything that is visible to you because of due to this light. Okay, so due to this light, anything around you, anything is visible to you because of the light. Okay, so the next topic is phenomena of light. So there are two major phenomena of light. First is reflection of light, and another one is refraction. So one by one we will discuss. First is reflection of light. So in this reflection, what is happening? The bouncing back of light. Bouncing back of light. Okay. How bouncing? Suppose this is any object. Okay. So when any light falls on it, it will bounce back. It will go in opposite direction. Okay. After striking to the surface, it will goes in a straight line on the okay, and it depends on the types of surface. This surface is smooth surface, but if surface is rough, there's irregularities in the surface. What will happen when any light incident on it? Okay, it will not go in a straight line. It will go like this anywhere. Okay, so the smooth surface and rough surface. Clear? Now this is a plane surface and light strike and it bounces back. So this ray is called incident incident ray, and this ray is called reflected ray. Okay, and the straight line between the incident and the reflected ray is called the normal. Okay, now this angle is called this angle is called what it is called? Angle of incidence. And this angle is called angle of reflection. So there are two laws of reflection. Laws of reflection. Laws of reflection. First is this angle and this angle will be equal. So the first law is incident ray, normal, and reflected ray all lie in one plane. How? These three rays, incident ray, normal and reflected ray, will lie in a single point in a one plane. Okay. And next law is angle of incidence is equal to angle of reflection. Okay, means angle of incidence will be equal to angle of refraction. So these are the major law of reflection. So what is the reflection? There are two phenomena of light, reflection and refraction. What is reflection? Bouncing back of light. When it strike any surface, the light will bounce back. If it will be smooth surface, the light will bounce back in a straight line and in opposite direction. If it is a rough surface, it will bounce back like this. So this is okay. This is incident ray, reflected ray. This angle is angle of incidence and angle of reflection, and this one is normal. So laws, first law, incident ray, normal ray, and reflected ray lie in the same plane, one plane, and angle of incidence is equal to angle of reflection. Okay. Now types of mirror. There are two types of mirror. First is plane mirror and another is spherical mirror. Okay. So spherical mirror is again of two types, concave and convex. Plane mirror means one surface is polished. The normal mirror on which you can see yourself. Okay, that is plane mirror. And the spherical mirrors, one is concave and one is convex. So we'll discuss in detail about all. First one is plane mirror. Okay. Have you ever seen yourself in the plane mirror? So there's a reflection takes place. A reflection of light takes place. And we have to discuss about the image formation. How image can form. So in the plane mirror, image can form that is erect. Erect means it will in us like this, erect form, single form. Okay, and the image will be virtual. So there are two types of image, virtual and real. Real image that and the image can be obtained on the screen. So it will called real image, and the virtual image that cannot be obtained on the screen. So suppose you have a burning candle. You have a burning candle. Okay. And this is a plane mirror. So how the image of this burning candle will form? It will be like this. It will be erect, not inverted. Erect image will be there. And virtual image is there. And also in the plane mirror, one thing is more. The if the object is in right, the image will formed on the left. If the object in left, the image of that object will form on the right hand side. Okay, so if you want to try, so just raise your right hand in front of the mirror. So the image of your right hand will be on the left side in the image. Okay, and the left hand, the image of the left hand will be in the right hand. Okay, So this is the property of the image formed by the plane mirror. We'll check anything else is there in your textbook. We'll cover up that. So I have told you about the irregular and regular reflection. If this surface is regular, polished surface, the reflection will be regular. And if the surface is irregular, like this surface, the reflection will be irregular. Okay. Hmm? Now the next is spherical mirror. The spherical mirror, we have discussed about the spherical mirror, two types, concave and the convex. So concave mirror is like this. That means reflecting surface. Reflecting surface is inward. Okay. And this is your convex mirror. This one is a reflecting. This is reflecting surface. So reflecting surface is outward. Okay. So have you ever seen the spoon? Spoon. Spoon is like this. So a spoon has both. The outward surfaces. How I make a spoon? It is something like, sorry, I can't make. So this outward surface, the reflecting surface is outward, it is convex, and this is concave. So you can go and watch the spoon. What is inside our eyes? Now we have to discuss about the eye system, about our eye system. So how you can see anything. Okay, with the help of light you are able to see, but which part of your body can help in seeing anything? That is your eye. Okay, so eye is very sensitive and very important part. The eye has a roughly spherical shape. The eye is spherical in shape. The outer coat of the eye is white in color. Outer coat of the eye is white in color. It is tough so that it can protect the interior of the eye. The so outer part is tough, very tough, so that it can protect the interior portion, because interior portion is very sensitive. Okay. It is transparent front part. The transparent front part of the eye is called as cornea. Okay, so in the picture you can see this part, this part, this part, cornea. It is a transparent and outer part, transparent outer part, that is a cornea. And it helps the inner part of the eye. Behind the cornea, we find a dark muscular structure called iris. Behind the eye, behind the cornea, there is a iris is there. It is a dark muscular structure. It is dark in color. Cornea is white, transparent in color. Okay. In the iris, there is a small opening called the pupil. You can see the pupil here in the iris. nearby the iris, there is a small opening called the pupil. Okay, the size of the pupil is controlled by the iris. We can control the size of the pupil with the help of a iris. Okay, the iris is the part of the eye which gives distinctive color. So this iris is responsible for different types of color you see. Oh, when we say that the person has a green eye, we refer to actual the color of the iris. So you might have seen the brown colored eye, the black color, somebody has blue color eyes, red color eyes. So this is due to the color of iris. So there are two to three colors like black and red. Sorry, black and brown is very common, and red and blue it is quite rare. Okay, nowadays people wear lens according to color they want. The iris controls the amount of light entering into the eyes. This iris is responsible for controlling the amount of eye that will comes into your eyes. How? If the uh, amount of light is very loud, it is very bright color light, so iris will contract, and if the light is very dim, the iris will relax. Okay. Behind the pupil of the eye is a lens which is a thicker in the center. Okay. uh, Pupil, behind the pupil there's a lens present which is very thick in the lens. The lens focuses light on the back of the eye on the layer called the retina. There is a back layer called retina, which is this portion. Okay, retina. On retina, image is formed. Image is formed on the retina. Okay, retina contains several nerve cells. Image will form on the retina, and retina have different nerve cells. That nerve cell will directly connect to the brain. Okay, and from the brain, so these nerves are called optic nerves. From the brain, it will give message to the brain that image has formed. Now brain will give message, and you can see the image. Okay, you can see anything from the eyes. So retina is responsible for making image of that particular thing you are seeing. There are two kinds of cells. There are two kinds of cells: cones, which are sensitive to bright light, okay, and the rods, which are sensitive to dim light. So there are two types of cells: the cones and the rods. Cones will be sensitive to bright light. Sensitive, if bright light is there, the cones will be sensitive, and if dim light is there, the rods will be sensitive. The cones sense color. So the color you can see with the help of the cones. The cones can sense any color. It can detect any color. At the junction of the optic nerve and the retina, there is a no sensory cell. So optic nerve is there and the retina is there. Between the retina and the optic nerve, there is a spot present called the blind spot. Okay. Its existence can be demonstrated as follows. So, the impression of the image does not vanish immediately from the retina. It persists there for about 1 by 16th of the second. So, when you see anything, so its image will be for 1 by 16th second. Okay, and so if a still image is moving and after that that object is will be removed from your eyes, then also the image will be there in your eyes. Okay. Hmm. So yeah, flashed out in the eye at the rate faster than 16 per second. then the eye perceives this objects as moving. So how you can see the moving object? That the retina will preserve the image of that object for the 16 seconds. After that, it will vanish. So image will be there in the retina. So this diagram, the diagram of eye is very important. In your exam, this diagram is asked. It can be asked in the 5 mark question. So it is very important to practice this diagram. Okay. So how you can try? You can wait a sec. You can try this diagram by like if you wanna try this, it is like these can be optic now. Uh, this I'm drawing here in with the help of the pen tab. So the diagram is not very nice, but if you draw, you need to draw neat and clean diagram. And in pen and paper, you can definitely can try. So this layer is called as this particular layer that is transparent layer is called as cornea. Okay, and after the cornea, there is a dark color muscular substance called as these dark color muscular substance. These are the called as iris. Okay, and after that, there will be lenses there. Okay, this is called the lens. So lenses hold these iris will hold the lens very tight so that it will not move. And this is doubly layer, and this is called retina. On retina, image is formed. Okay, and these are called the optic nerve. And between the optic nerves and the lens, retina, sorry, there is a blind spot. Okay, so this diagram, the eye diagram is very important for the your exam prospective. You need to practice this diagram. Okay, so I've discussed all the important terms and the topics of this chapter, the light. And in today's session, we have discussed the two topics, that is natural phenomena. In that, we have discussed about the lightning, the thunderstorm, and the earthquake, and the light chapter, which you have already learned, studied in seventh standard also. So the reflection, the plane mirror, and the spherical mirror, and the main topic was the parts of eye and the diagram of eye. So these in this chapter, the eye portion, the eye diagram, the parts of the eye and the diagram of the eye is very important, and from this question will definitely going to ask. Okay, so yeah, that's it for today. In next session we will meet with the two new topics, so please come daily and join the class at the time. Thank you.